We haven't had a pay increase in like 10 years, and more or less our biggest thing is like, hey, just throw some pay increases just cause. And that's really all we were asking for.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
307 area code. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Kyle. I live in Las Vegas, and I work for Fox Television Station.
Oh,
I
hey,
just
yeah,
emailed
you were
not too long ago.
I'm glad you were able to call in. Sorry, I didn't think that you'd be able to call in until after your shift. But this is great.
Well, I can call in for a bit. Like, I'm kind of on a time crunch at the moment, but yeah, more or less, like, we're 10 years without a first contract. To delve into the weeds of it, like, I might have to call back at a different time to really kind of give like a full picture of like what happened.
Yeah, well, just to give people the exposition that you gave me in the email, he like you said, Kyle from California works for Fox television stations, and y'all have been fighting for a first contract for 10 years. What union are y'all with?
NABIT 53 out of Los Angeles.
NABIT 53. NABIT is a CWA affiliate, National Association of Broadcast. What is
technicians?
Do what?
Oh, broadcast technicians.
Broadcast technicians. NABIT CWA. Yeah. So 10 years. So yeah. What? Why? Why?
Basically, the company is trying their best to like evade like any sort of contract. Back in like 2017, they gave us a last best and final that we would never agree to, and since then we've been kind of like riding it out, waiting for them to maybe finally need something from us to where they could cut a deal. But even then, they're more interested in like throwing money away than they are protecting their bottom line.
That's wild. Gave you a last best and final in 2017. So the question then that I would have is, I guess, why haven't y'all gone on strike at this point?
We haven't had really enough like support from the local in terms of like funding. Because I mean, like, we recently had an opportunity to do like a ULP strike. However, you know, our local couldn't really like round up the funding. It's like, well, we kind of pissed away that ULP, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate. And just for folks who don't know, who aren't in unions, you know, the benefit of being able to go on a ULP strike is that not only can you not be fired, you can't be permanently replaced, because somehow, even though the National Labor Relations Act contains a prohibition on firing striking workers, only a couple years after that, the Supreme Court ruled that you could permanently replace a worker. That is known as the McKay Doctrine, and for whatever reason, the Supreme Court has created this fiction that permanently replacing an employee is different than firing them. But if the strike is not economic, but if the strike is over an unfair labor practice, that is, if the strike is in response to the employer violating the law, then not only can you not be fired, you also cannot be permanently replaced. So your jobs are protected during a ULP strike.
At that point, like, the only tool in their toolbox is maybe like a lockout, which from there it's like you can file unemployment with a lockout.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they could lock you out, and they, you know, for a long time, but they would have to at some point give you your job back. And so ULP strikes are really, they are really helpful to unions to be able to go on a ULP strike as opposed to a purely economic strike. So that's the importance of that. So that's definitely a bummer that y'all weren't able to make use of that. What are the where are y'all at right now in terms of, you know, wages and benefits and working conditions, and what are y'all trying to get towards in a contract?
We haven't had like a pay increase in like 10 years. And more or less, it's like our biggest thing is like, hey, just throw some fucking pay increases and just cause. And that's really all we were asking for.
Wow. No pay increase in 10 years? Is that in real dollars or adjusted for inflation?
No, real dollars.
Holy shit. That's bonkers, man.
Yeah, I mean, like if I weren't in time crunch, I'd go through like the whole history of it, but I would have to call back later to like, when I'm more available to really delve into the weeds on that one.
Yeah, you need to go ahead and drop off.
Yeah, pretty soon here. Unless you have any other like short questions, I can at least answer them at this time.
Adam, do you have any short questions? I don't think I do at this.
I just wanted to say I found out about an organization and just interviewed them this week on Shop Talk called Strike for Our Rights. And they're a nonprofit that tries to like basically help out folks that need strike support. Small locals, independent locals, things like that. And so that could be a resource for y'all to maybe check into, strikeforourrights.org. Again, I just learned about the organization myself pretty recently, but seems like, maybe it's a connection worth exploring.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys have my email, so, I definitely take that link and try and send my membership into a new direction. I actually just took a job with the railroad that I'm starting in a few weeks here. I figured it's like, well, yeah, I mean, there's been some division because we have a couple people that, they cock themselves to the company like really bad. It's like, hey guys, like obviously it's like, if you like being lied to, then, that's on you, but.
Right. Well, best of luck in your new job at the railroad. Those unions will be renegotiating their contracts in about a year, so get ready for that. Feel free to call back in later and look forward to learning a little bit more. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like, I've been a steward for like 10 years, and I look forward to at least helping whatever unit, like, try and get whatever over the top. More or less, it's just trying to like rally people to fight for a common cause, I guess.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yep.
But yeah, for the meantime, I'll keep listening, and when I have more time on my hands, I'll definitely reach back.
All right.
That sounds good. Appreciate you, brother.
Yep.
Have a good one.
Kyle from California,
you too.
negotiating a contract, first contract for 10 years. That's just Looney Tunes. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.